Good morning. Many of you know I'm much more comfortable in the choir loft. But this morning, Louise Beck asked me to stand in for her. She and Jeffrey Gaskins are at the First Congregational Church of Palo Alto, and they are presenting the new NARCAT video, Torture in Your Backyard. So obviously, she's not cloned. She can't be in two places at once, so I'm going to give you the Tears Ministry report. As Pat said, this June and every June is Torture Awareness Month. It's when we lift up the issue of torture and report back to you what the Tears Ministry team has been doing this year in partnership with BARCAT, the Bay Area Religious Campaign Against Torture, and NARCAT, the National Religious Campaign Against Torture. And also to let you know what you can do to end torture by our government. First, there is good news on the accountability for torture front. The various petitions Tears brought to you to sign have really helped. The Senate Select Intelligence Committee has completed its comprehensive report on the U.S. torture program. The whole committee will now vote on whether to release it to the public, either as a whole or in a redacted version. Public release of this report is essential. As people of faith, we believe our government should not torture anyone. We must face and learn from our mistakes, and it is clear from the many publicly available documents that no helpful information was gained by using torture. Our Senator Dianne Feinstein is the chair of the Intelligence Committee. Tears member joined BARCAT organized meetings in her office to urge her to work to release a public version of the Intel report. And we believe that decision will be made this year. Since 2009, the national organization has been working to end torture and solitary confinement in U.S. prisons. This year, the Tears Ministry took up that issue. At FCCB last February, we showed that new NARCAT video, Torture in Your Backyard, the video that Louise and Jeffrey are presenting this morning. At our screening, a large responsive audience heard freed American hiker Sarah Short speak movingly about being held in solitary confinement in Iran and how her strong beliefs helped her survive. We heard that it was the early Quakers who first used solitary confinement. They wanted the offender to contemplate and repent, but to their horror, they discovered such confinement drove the prisoners insane. They stopped the practice and apologized. In California alone, nearly 4,000 people are currently being held in solitary confinement. Many have been there for decades, often placed in solitary without due process and without having committed any crime in prison. As Sarah told us, prolonged isolation causes immeasurable suffering. Such treatment violates not only our common humanity, but prisoners' constitutional rights. It costs thousands of dollars more than housing a prisoner in the general population, and there's no improvement in prison safety or in recidivism. And where is the church in this? As people of faith and conscience, are we leading the way in holding our government to high moral and ethical standards? In the end, it's not about the people we torture. It's about us. What kind of people are we? What kind of a nation are we becoming? And finally, Louise wanted me to say thank you for what you've done this year. And here's what you can do now. Join with tears as we offer opportunities for action. Talk with your neighbors and friends about these issues. Contact Senator Feinstein asking her to get the committee to release that report. Contact your state representatives about these issues. And when you're in the voting booth this November, remember their responses. Most of all, remember who you are, a person of faith, and hold our nation to a higher standard. Thank you.